Thank you very much for joining us. The invitation that I put out during the shows last night and the night beforehand. And just to clarify what's going on today, I've got a camera at the back. A number of people were saying to me, as always, there's always something else that's always happening around the ship. And they were keen to be here, but they were committed to something else. So what we're doing right now, we are videotaping this, and Andy has actually given us permission to broadcast it, maybe for tonight, maybe tomorrow, and that's it. And then obviously, because of copyright rules and all those other things which you know about now, then we won't, we'll have to get rid of it. But thank you for joining us. There will not be a Q&A from the floor. It's basically, I've collected a whole series of questions from you. Some people have written down some things. And hopefully through my questioning, it'll bring to mind all the questions that you may have wanted to ask. It gives me great pleasure to welcome to the stage Andrew Reid and Claire Smith.
Hello. Cheers.
Backstage, you said you were going to sit nearer me so I could touch your leg, just in case. The reason I'm saying that is because Claire has been feeling a little bit queasy, haven't you?
Yeah.
And then with this in mind as well, to come out in front of all these lovely people, it's a bit nerve-wracking, isn't it?
It's very nervous, yeah.
It is, but they're both with friends, aren't they? It's like we're family, and that's the thing. That's what. When you get a chance to talk to me one-on-one as a cruise director, I do try and say to people, if we can try and remember, although obviously you've paid to be here, but if we can treat each other just like, with respect, just like family. So thank you very much for, first of all, allowing me to interview you. And just to explain again, in case you didn't hear the explanation, we were sitting having a meal. Well, I wasn't invited to the meal.
Like the gate crashed.
I gate crashed, yeah. There was a seat next to you. I thought, I'm going to sit down and start chatting. And then it came out that, Claire, you mentioned that lots of people, you could sense them wanting to ask you questions. It was like almost like there was a wall between you. And having talked to you in length now, you actually want people to chat to you. Not when you're shopping.
No, not when I'm shopping.
When they're in Morrison's, they don't want anyone to approach them. But because we're on a cruise ship like this, people want to come up and say hello. Yeah. So you said, you know, that was the sense.
Yeah, more than happy.
That's how you're feeling. Now, they're both like Madonna today. Rather than have a microphone in their hand, they've both got headsets. So, boys, as we're talking, they're going to interrupt each other, just like any other couple will. So hopefully you'll be able to hear them. So can we start right from the beginning then?
Yeah.
Why are your names not the names William and Eleanor? Because witness protection, I think. Witness protection.
Yeah, that's what it is, yeah. We've done a bit of a dodgy pass, so I had to use my middle name for a while. Yeah.
But why are you using your second names rather than your first names?
Well, for myself, William's a family name, and my mum agreed to be called William, but she didn't like the name, so I used my middle name instead. So that's what's happened since I was a kid. Just get called Andrew instead.
So you're Andrew?
And my dad didn't like the name Eleanor, which is my first name. So my mum insisted on it being in my name, so they just always called me Claire.
Are you there now?
Yeah.
I'm still confused, but whatever. Okay, so let's talk about your part. Let's start right from the beginning then. So where you come from, where you live?
I live in St Helens, which is just between Manchester and Liverpool, in the middle of there. We've got a house up there where we live, and I've also got a married quarter, although we're not married yet, down in Wiltshire, in Warminster. That's where my battalion's based. Right.
And so when did you think about becoming part of the military? What inspired you to do that?
I was just doing a job as a forklift truck driver when I was about 21 years old, and I just thought, I'm not really going anywhere doing this job. I'm not getting to see the world or anything like that. And I just thought, I might just go and join the army. So I went along, did the test, and got accepted. And I originally joined the Queen's Lancashire Regiment from St Helens. That's a local regiment. I did 2 years in Northern Ireland with that regiment, and then an opportunity to come up to go to Germany as a warrior commander with the Duke of Wellington's regiment. So I went across there, spent 5 years in Germany, and then ended up transferring to the Duke of Wellington's regiment. And under the current amalgamations that happened, it's now called the Yorkshire Regiment, the 3rd Battalion, the Yorkshire Regiment.
So active service, then you've had Northern Ireland?
Yeah, 2 years in Ireland, a 6-month tour in Kosovo. I went to Iraq in 2003, then back to Iraq in 2005, and then the Afghanistan tour, which I did July last year, was it? I deployed 27th of July last year, yeah.
So I don't want to jump about, but in the timeline, when did you two meet then?
We met probably 2 years on the 27th next month, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So not long ago, really.
I was wondering, that was good. That was good. You know, the 27th, that was commendable. I wonder how many men in this room could remember the month or the year they met their partner. But congratulations. So how did you meet?
Just in a local pub in town. Obviously, I like to have a drink. Claire was working there as a barmaid at the time, part-time. And just met in the pub.
Your eyes met over a
pint of Stella, yeah. That was it.
I was going to say over a crowded room, but okay.
Like that, yeah.
So you saw each other. But obviously then you were going away a lot, so that must have been difficult to keep a relationship going.
Yeah, it is quite difficult at times, but if you both work together and appreciate that when you do come home, you make the most of the time of being together. I think that gives you quite a strong bond, isn't it? When you are away, you do miss each other, so when you're home, you just make the most of the time that you've got together. And it worked out for us, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot of the people working on here, they've got family, friends, whatever, they don't see for months on end. So what was the longest period of time that he was away?
When he went to Afghan.
And how long was that?
Yeah.
Just over 3 months.
Yeah,
okay.
3 months. Yeah. I went to Kuwait first, and the time was supposed to deploy to Iraq and do like a bodyguarding, kind of with the 5-star and 3-star generals, what they have out in Iraq. That got cancelled, but I went to Kuwait and trained the soldiers who were going to deploy to Iraq. That's where you deploy from. That got cancelled, and then we got it was only a week's notice to go to Afghanistan, because we went out as what's called battlefield casualty replacements, where the units out there took quite a few losses in lives and also injuries as well, and also compassionate reasons people come back if their wife's still or the kids are ill, they get sent back. So 127 men from my regiment got tasked to go out to Afghanistan with a week's notice to go. The first time I'd ever met the guys I worked with, the 7 guys. I'm 34 now. The oldest guy in my team was 23. The youngest one was 18, so they're quite young guys. But we bonded quite well together. The first 2 weeks training we did down at Bastion together. And then we deployed out to a FOB, which is a forward operating base. FOB Norway it was, in Sangin, in the Helmand province.
So I've got the misinterpretation. I'm thinking that you're a unit and you know each other, you've been training and working together, but you're saying basically they use you wherever they want to use you. So you're just brought together, train, and then go out. Well,
the guys I was with are from my unit. So all the 127 guys are from my unit. So we all did know each other, but I'd not worked with them particular guys before. And then we went out and you get put in your sections, which is like an 8-man team, and then they tell you where about you're going to go to. So how long had you been out there before the incident? Was it just on 3 months, wasn't it? I think I had 10 days left to fly back to the UK when the incident happened. Yeah, that was 3 months. So can you run us what happened that day? Yeah, I don't mind running through that. The incoming commanding officer for the new regiment that was going to take over us, because obviously we were due to leave, we took him out on the ground on patrol, showing him different areas where the head chiefs live, where vulnerable places were, and things like a filmarisation patrol of the area. Set off from the FOB, I think it was about 5:30 in the morning. A lot of things are done either at first light or last light due to the heat. It's about the same temperature as it has been quite recently on the ship here. But you were inside the rooms? Pardon? Yeah. Right. But you mean it gets as hot as what, 35, 40 degrees? Yeah, 35, 40 degrees, yeah. And you're wearing probably about 60 pounds worth of kit, with your body armour and your weapon and ammunition and all that kind of thing. So things are done like at first light, and it's generally quite cooler. We set off from the FOB. Everything looked like just a normal day on patrol. One of the call signs, we work in like a multiple of 3 sections. So one call sign got tasked to go on the high ground and give us a bit of overwatch as we were walking down to a valley. As we were on the high ground, we needed to make our way down. I got the front guy, it's called a Vallon, a metal detector. How do you spell that? Vallon? V-E-L-O-N. Vallon. Yeah, it's like a metal detector.